Could you have money waiting to be claimed in North Dakota? Find out how to secure what's rightfully yours with just a few clicks online, without spending a dime. Hello everyone and welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through what is, essentially, a modern-day treasure hunt using the state of North Dakota's official online portal.
So, here's our roadmap for today. We'll quickly define what unclaimed property actually is, walk step by step through the online claiming process, and cover the exact evidence you're going to need. After that, we'll dive into some of the more complex claims, like for heirs and businesses, explore the state's amazing automatic return benefits, and then wrap the whole thing up with a few frequently asked questions. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. What is unclaimed property? You know, right now, as we speak, there are millions of dollars sitting abandoned in North Dakota, just waiting to be claimed by their rightful owners. Now, what's really interesting here is the actual legal definition under the North Dakota Century Code. Unclaimed property isn't just, a lost piece of real estate. Legally, it's defined as tangible or intangible property held by a business or a government that has simply been abandoned by its owner. Sure, tangible items might be something like a forgotten safe deposit box, but honestly, the vast majority of this stuff is intangible funds. In everyday life, those intangible funds look like dormant bank accounts, uncashed payroll checks, maybe a forgotten utility deposit, or even insurance proceeds. But here's a massive category to watch out for if you're in North Dakota: mineral proceeds, things like royalties and bonuses. By law, if these specific proceeds remain unclaimed for just 3 years, they are legally turned over to the state. Just to give you a sense of the sheer scale of this treasure hunt, check out this number. The North Dakota Unclaimed Property Division has already returned over $139 million to rightful owners. Over $139 million. So this isn't some myth or internet rumor. It's a massive, ongoing financial operation with very realistic, tangible benefits for your wallet. Moving on to Section 2, the step-by-step online process. Let's look at how the state's free, completely secure online portal literally serves as your personal treasure map to finding these hidden assets. Okay, so the North Dakota Treasury makes this incredibly straightforward. Step 1, you just search your exact name or your business name. If you happen to find a match, Step 2 is selecting those specific properties you want to claim. Step 3 requires entering your claimant info, so your current name, your social security number, and your mailing address. Then Step 4 is just verifying that address, because they need to know exactly where to mail your check, right? And hitting submit. That generates a totally unique claim ID for you. Finally, Step 5 is uploading your verifying documents to prove you are who you say you are. And that perfectly sets up Section 3, gathering your required evidence. Every treasure chest requires the right keys to open it. And in this case, those keys are your identification documents. These are absolutely crucial to strictly protect your claim from fraud. So the key takeaway here is knowing exactly what you need to upload via the state's secure link. For an everyday individual owner, you'll need a signed claim form, a government-issued photo ID like a driver's license or passport, and some kind of verification of your social security number. Honestly, a W-2, an old tax return, or even a health insurance card works perfectly for this. You're also going to need proof that you actually lived at the original address associated with the property. An old utility bill or lease agreement is ideal. Oh, and if your name has changed over the years, you'll just need to provide something like a marriage certificate to connect the dots. Before we move on, I want to share a really quick pro tip. Always keep a digital record of the forms you submit. Once you file everything, the state portal has this great feature where you can enter that unique claim ID you got on their status page. That lets you track your claim's progress 24/7, so you're never left wondering what's going on. All right, let's move to Section 4 and see how this whole process builds when we are dealing with slightly more complex claims. Specifically, we're talking about claims for heirs, businesses, and local townships. As you might guess, the evidence required shifts a bit depending on who you're actually representing. While individuals just need that personal ID and address history we talked about, if you are claiming on behalf of a business or maybe a local government township, you really have to prove your authority to act for them. You're going to need an executive authorization letter printed right on official company letterhead, a copy of the corporate filing from the Secretary of State showing you are an active officer, and documentation of the Federal Employer Identification Number, the FINE. Now, what if you're trying to recover long-lost family assets for a deceased owner? In that case, you're acting as an heir. You will definitely need a certified death certificate and court-issued letters proving you are the recognized executor of the estate. But here is an incredibly useful piece of estate planning information. If the entire estate is valued at under $100,000, North Dakota actually allows heirs to use a simple document called an affidavit for collection of personal property.
This is a total game changer because it completely bypasses formal court-supervised probate for those smaller estates. It saves you a tremendous amount of time and, of course, legal hassle.
Let's keep rolling into Section 5. I want to talk about a really exciting systemic reform the state launched recently to make reuniting owners with their property even more effortless. And we'll also touch on some broader benefits to the community.
$1,000. That is the magic number right here. The North Dakota Department of Trust Lands recently implemented something called the Automatic Return Program. Basically, by cross-referencing their database with verified automated tools to get updated addresses, they can now automatically verify and mail out checks for single-owner properties valued up to $1,000. That means you might just open your mailbox one day and get a surprise check without having to file a single claim form. How great is that?
And you might be wondering, what actually happens to the money while it's just sitting there waiting for you? Well, there is actually no statute of limitations to claim your property in North Dakota. It is held indefinitely in the Common Schools Trust Fund. And here's the best part. While it sits there, the principal remains fully yours to claim at any time, but the investment income generated off of it, that directly supports K-12 public schools all across the state. It's a truly fantastic community benefit.
Okay, let's wrap things up with Section 6, FAQs and final tips. We're going to address a few of the most common concerns right now, just to eliminate any lingering anxiety you might have about this whole process. A really frequent question that pops up is, hey, why can't I see the exact dollar amount of my property when I search online? Well, the state actually does this on purpose. By hiding the exact value online, they significantly reduce the potential for fraudulent claims and strictly protect your privacy. Nobody wants scammers poking around. The full details are only released to you once your identity and your entitlement are securely proven. Another great question we see a lot, do I need to pay a finder or some kind of professional locator to get my money? Absolutely not. Using the state portal yourself is entirely 100% free. Now, if you do choose to use a professional locator for some reason, just be aware that state law strictly regulates them. Locator fees are legally capped at 10% of the recovered value, and, this is huge, any agreement made within the first 24 months of the property being turned over to the state is completely void and unenforceable. So, protect yourself from predatory fees. What if you've lived, worked, or maybe done business outside of North Dakota at some point? Good news! You can actually search across all 50 states for free by visiting missingmoney.com. It's an incredible, centralized resource if you've moved around over the years. Definitely check it out. As we close out our explainer today, please just remember that while we've done our best to completely demystify the unclaimed property process for you, this is strictly for informational purposes. You should always consult with legal professionals or reach out to the Unclaimed Property Division directly for specific guidance, especially on complex estates. So, are you ready to discover what might be waiting for you? It honestly takes just a few minutes to check the database, and you have literally nothing to lose. Just think about it. What long-forgotten family asset, dormant account, or surprise check might be out there right now, just waiting for you to simply type in your name? Go find out.